Hello and welcome to episode 146 of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we cover some of the best Easter eggs found in video games. As always, if you think you know of a video game Easter egg that I'm yet to cover, then let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to check it out. And of course, credit you in a future video. Oh, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe and do all that other YouTube algorithm stuff. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with a good old-fashioned murder mystery. Now, in my last video, where we covered some of the weirdest Easter eggs in video games, which you should definitely watch if you haven't already, we found a dead body in Watch Dogs 2. Well, it turns out that a lot of you knew of more dead body locations in the game, which excited me way more than it should have. So at the first location, we can see that the police have already discovered this body and are busy documenting the scene. Again, the body is wrapped exactly how the body we found in the vents was, which if it wasn't clear already, means that these are linked. The next body location was hard to get to. At this location on the map, you can find a garage that can be unlocked with your super duper hacking powers. Now what you need to do is use the van in the garage to smash the wood covering the vent so we can pilot our drone through it. I mean, that sounds easy enough, but trust me, it took me way longer than I'd like to admit. Anyway, with enough perseverance, you can eventually find this. So this time we can find two dead bodies, again wrapped just like the other ones that we've already found. So who's behind this murder spree? Is it a character we know, or is it perhaps content that didn't make it into the final release of the game? Well, I hate to ruin the fun, but apparently these bodies are part of the Zodiac Killer side mission, which I never knew was a thing. The reason for my ignorance is because the Zodiac Killer side mission was a pre-order exclusive, and given that I don't pre-order games, I never played it. So yeah, that's the mystery of the dead bodies in Watch Dogs 2 solved. Though it turns out that the real crime here is pre-order exclusive DLC. So the Warhead map in Black Ops 6 takes place on the edge of a bomb crater, which you might think is a dangerous place to do battle. Well, you'd definitely be right in thinking that, but I tell you what makes it 10 times more dangerous, and that's an unexploded nuclear bomb. Now I'm guessing that if you've played Black Ops 6 and this map, then you've already tried shooting this bomb, where you'll have learned nothing happens. Well, if you're really persistent and unload an ungodly amount of bullets into the nuke, this will happen. So 345 bullets later, the bomb will explode, ending the game. I mean, if you could pull this off during a game whilst winning, I'm pretty sure the game would just end at that point, giving you the win early. I mean, I'm not saying that you should do that, but I'm also not saying that you shouldn't do it. Now, one of the best things about Astro Bot is finding the various famous video game characters that appear in the game. The thing is, when Astro Bot released, there were a few notable omissions from the Astro Bot cameo roster. Though with the release of the free Christmas DLC, some of those omissions have been addressed. In this small but very good DLC, you can find the likes of Miles Morales, Rayman and more. And just like the other cameo bots, they each come with a unique interaction when they're given a good smack. Now, I won't share all of the new bot interactions from the DLC here, because quite frankly some of them are pretty boring, but here are a couple of my favourites. To be honest, I'm actually struggling to think of any other famous video game characters that aren't in Astro Bot at this point. Well, apart from characters from Nintendo or Microsoft. So if you can think of anyone who might be missing, let me know in the comments. Now, in the last episode of this series, we covered some Easter eggs from the Eggcellent Forgive Me Father 2, and since that video I've found a couple more. It's kind of what I do here. First up, in one of the cells, you can find this. So this poster is a reference to this famous scene from The Shawshank Redemption. The next Easter egg is this. So this door is a reference to this door from The Walking Dead Season 1, which could be read as Don't Dead Open Inside or Don't Open Dead Inside. Personally, I would have read it as Don't Open Dead Inside, but I'm guessing if you read it the other way, you wouldn't have made it to The Walking Dead Season 2. The final Easter egg from Forgive Me Father 2 is this simple message, which says "Blood is fuel," which is the slogan for the Eggcellent Ultra Kill. Now, I'm not ashamed to admit that I love a good simulator game. Of course, the quality of these games can vary massively, but one of my new favourites is Tavern Manager Simulator. Taking place in a time when taverns were actually a thing, Tavern Manager Simulator sees you taking a run-down tavern and turning it into a place you would actually want to drink in. One of the best things about Tavern Manager is that you can actually leave your humble tavern and explore the outside world, which is full of weird and wonderful characters. Well, one of the locations that you can find is this. So this sign warns us to keep out, as this is an ogre's swamp. The ogre in question is depicted as a green, angry looking monster. Heading further into the swamp, because today's life tip is always ignore warning signs, we can find this nice place. Now, if it wasn't already obvious, this is a reference to Shrek's swamp. Unfortunately, the ogre in question is nowhere to be found, but if I know Shrek, and after 7 movies including spin-offs I think I do, he should be home any day now. Oh, and there is one more Easter egg that I found in Tavern Manager Simulator, but it's one that we've all seen 100 times before. Yes, I am of course talking about the famous Dark Souls bonfire, which has appeared in way too many games to mention. If you're new around here, just know that it's a lot. Right, the final Easter egg for today's video can be found in one of the coolest games I've played in recent times. Now, I play a lot of games, but I very rarely play anime-style games. I have nothing against them, they're just not my thing. Well, that's changed with MiSide. MiSide? MiSide. This game starts off with you managing the life of a video game character in an app. You can think of her as a more advanced Tamagotchi. It's not long before things get weird and you're teleported into the game, and therefore find yourself living by the rules of a game. Honestly, it's very clever, and despite only being a couple of chapters in, I already can't wait to find out what happens next. Now, MiSide, which is what I'm going with, is full of moments that you won't spot on a first playthrough. But there is one thing that I found in particular that I think is brilliant. At the beginning of the game, if you stand in front of this mirror for a minute, this will happen. Like I said, I'm only a couple of chapters in, so I don't know who or what this thing is. What I do know is I'll be avoiding mirrors until I find out. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in video games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.